Hello, folks. Back in the studio, back in the saddle, and glad you're with me. This is 3 at 3, just in case you didn't know that. 3 at 3 is when I bring you unusual option activity that we've seen on our scans, as well as our sentiment indicators. So sit back, enjoy. I'll try to explain what's going on, what we've seen, and give you a quick recap as well. Keep in mind, however, that these will only be live for our members only, starting in as little as 1 week, I think. So next week, the 3 at 3s will be live at 3, but will be for people that are subscribers, they'll be live at 3. For people that are not subscribers, it will not run until after the market closes. So in other words, if you're somebody who loves these but doesn't want to subscribe to any of our services, and that includes any of our unusual activity services, if you either can't afford it or don't want to and would just rather be entertained, we welcome that, and we will still provide this for you, but it will not be live. It will be recorded and shot up just after the market closes. So if you'd like to still get it live, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA live. It will show you all of the various subscriptions that you could subscribe to in order to get unusual option activity 3 at 3 live. All right, let's get started with today's 3 at 3 for the 14th of October, 2021. Quick recap, MGM, one we talked about, I think it was my brother Pete on Friday, talked about this one, or maybe it was earlier this week. You never know. But the 29th of October was the expiry, meaning expiration of these calls would be 2 weeks from tomorrow. Not tomorrow, not a week from tomorrow, but 2 weeks from tomorrow. And 15,000 of the October 47 calls were purchased. We said that this was not only unusual, but it was also an in the money, which makes it even a little more unusual. Stock moved up about $1 since then, up another 28 cents today. So just kind of focusing you in on how these work, how they play out sometimes on the winner side. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you how we get out of the ones that do not work out. What do? I cut my losses at 50%. If I pay $1 for an option and it falls to 50 cents, I get out. That's cutting your losses. On the other hand, if the play is working out and the option doubles from $1 to $2, I will take half of that money off the table and I will snug a put up, or rather an exit, underneath where that particular exit was. So if I sold at $2 at about $1.75, I would either set a hard exit on my software or mentally and keep it here on the desktop if it's a stock I'm actively trading. That's the way we do it, folks. We're trying to let the winners run and cut the losers. Let's talk about a winner here, Pete. Truly a winner, not only two-time All-American, academic All-American, and all-around good guy, but today on the halftime report, Pete was talking about unusual option activity in the shoe company Skechers. And as you see, in August, the stock was close to $56 a share. It has made a rather sharp upturn from the 40-ish level and is now $43.97 as of that live shot over there at CNBC. They were buying the November 49 calls. So these calls, the November 49 calls, are approximately $6 out of the money. So big upside bet in the short term for this stock, because these options will only have about a month to live. So as always, I will buy an at the money call one time, sell an out of the money call as the stock rallies. That's the way I play it, folks. That's the way I've always played it. The odds move into your favor when you don't ask the stock to do as much. So a $6 run, if it happens quickly, those options will pop. You'll make money. If it crawls up there, like for instance, the example we just showed, MGM, it's not exactly an explosive move from 47.5 to 48.5. It's moving like 20, 25 cents a day. So if you've got an out of the money call, rather than that example being an in the money call, if you have an out of the money call, that call is not going to be very reactive to that 25 cents a day creep. On the other hand, if I am long a call at the money and short a call out of the money, and we get that slow creep up, that out of the money call may finish worthless. These November 49s could finish worthless, but the 43 or 44 calls, you pick your poison, those could be picking up and going deeper and deeper into the money, which would mean that they move more and more like stock. Meanwhile, those out of the money calls, as you get closer to expiration, the delta gets smaller and smaller. So an at the money call usually, folks, runs about 50 delta, meaning it will move 50 cents for every $1 that the underlying stock moves. As we move towards expiration, so an out of the money call like these 49s, I'm going to say that's probably a 25 delta. It'll move 25 cents for every dollar the underlying stock moves. So you need several dollars worth of moves to make any real money on this. And you've got time decay, which is theta, working against you. It's compressing. So the less time you have, the less deltas you'll have as this out of the money call slowly erodes away. That's why I want to be long and at the money, short those out of the money calls. So that's the first of today's 3 at 3. Second is Pinterest, PINS. And by the way, Skechers right now, just to go back, is up $1 from when we got in at 43.33. It is now 44.34. Bang! That's what I like to see. All right, now let's take a look at that Pinterest trade that Pete also spoke of on the halftime report. Pinterest, PINS, you know what they are, social. They have like banners and buttons and all kinds of things. I do like going on Pinterest. Anybody who followed me over the last 6 months knows I post up a lot of Pinterest coffee memes. But nonetheless, here we are, Pinterest, stock 52.56. They're buying upside calls at the double nickel 55 strike. No, that's not correct, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. I forgot to type the PINS. There we go. So stock's 52.56 when we saw this. It's about 30 cents higher than that right now. It's trading 52.85, and they're buying the 22nd of October double nickel calls, 55 calls. So that'd be 22.5. This would be 55. Anyway, they're buying the 22 expiration. That is 1 week from tomorrow. October double nickel calls. Those calls that they are buying there are approximately $2.50 out of the money, with the stock trading 52.50. So I like owning the at the money call and selling those upside calls against it, because once again, I'm moving those odds into my favor. That is my preferred, my modus operandi, if you will. That is what I like to do. So these are the October 22nd calls. So let me just pull those up here on my software, let you know where those are trading right now. October 22nd, 55 calls are trading for 60 cents. They are up 110% on the day. Meanwhile, the at the money, let's call it either the 52 or 53 calls, are either trading for $1.80 or $1.25, your choice. So I would like buying those 53s for $1.25 and selling those 55s for 60 cents. In so doing, I would be establishing a $2 spread. Why $2, John? Because 53 to 55 is a $2 differential between those two strikes. If indeed I pay 65 cents for that, I'm paying $65 for something that could go to $2. You decide on how big you want to do it, folks. If you bought, for instance, 100 lot, you'd be spending $650 on something that could go to $2,000, and so forth and so on in various increments. So I like that. I'm addressing time decay, which on a 1 month or a 1 week out option rather is something you need to be very cognizant of. And I'm also addressing Vega volatility, which is something else that could hurt us if we didn't write that call against the calls that we bought. Now for our third trade, it is Mattel, M-A-T. Mattel, I'm pretty sure everybody out there knows what they do, toy maker. Are they going to have to cut costs into the holidays? Probably not as much. Why? Because shelves are going to be empty, because we can't get stuff out of the ports fast enough. For that reason, I think people will be able to make some money trading Mattel. This is their Super Bowl season going into the fourth quarter. So stock was $19.64. Now it's about 13 cents higher than that, trading $19.77. They were buying next week expiration 4,200 of those October 20 calls that expire next week. There we go, October 22nd. So I would say that those are the ones that we want to focus on right now. I am in these calls already, and I will probably hold these for most of the next week. So for instance, right now, with the stock at $19.64, those 19 calls are trading for $1.25. That means that about 60 cents of them is out of the money or extrinsic. About 60 cents of that is in the money because, again, it's trading $19.60. The right to buy it at 19 is worth 60 cents. So you could sell the 21 calls for 35 cents right now, because they've traded not too many of those, but their 30-cent bid offered at 40. So if you paid $1.25 and sold these for 35 cents, you're basically in for 70 cents for something that could go to $2. Again, nice way to play it. If you're somebody who wants to instead just trade those at the money, that would be the 20 calls. Those are trading 70 cents on the bid side, 75 cents on the offer. They've traded now 6,000. It was 4,200 when we saw them first time. Now they've traded 6,000 of those calls. So those are our three trades for today, folks. Pinterest, Skechers, and Mattel. Now let's get to some questions. If you have questions, we welcome them. Send them to me on Twitter at Jon Najarian. That's the @ JON NAJARIAN. Ben Schumacher, whose handle is at SCHU, like shoe, BOMBER 21, like shoe bomber 21. All right, up 50 cents on the October 29th, 47 calls in MGM. Bang. Let it ride or take profits. Let your gut be your guide. Since these are an option that expires in 2 weeks, I would rather give it more time. On the other hand, if you're starting out and you need a little bit of a win to feel better about things, take half off here and let the rest run, but keep an eye on them and cut those immediately if it starts reversing. On the other hand, just like I said, if it's running to the upside, keep on snugging up a call or a stop underneath where you got out of the first 50% and let them run as long as you can. Bang. It's my answer, Ben. Hope it helps. Pick one, says Craig Elmendorf, and his handle is at CraigElmendice, like Elman Dice. If I could only choose one, there can only be one. If I can only choose one, thank you, sir. Which would I like? Let's see, the 29th of October, 42 calls, or the 29th of October, 43 calls. I'd want the 42 or the 41 calls. Why? Because that's the at the money. I want to be long and at the money and selling and out of the money. Because that's the way I roll. Because I want to cut down on losses, because I want to address time decay and all those reasons that I just bang into your head hard every time that we have this little discussion. So it doesn't mean that that's the way Craig Elmendorf has to trade. And I wish you a lot of success, Craig. This is not me demeaning your acumen at all. This is just me saying, for me, I want to hit singles and doubles, which means I want to own it at the money, and I'm happy selling it out of the money. And if it goes deep in the money on both sides, fine. Then I should have done what Craig did. If, on the other hand, we get that slow creep or maybe a pop and then a stall, I'll do a lot better. So that's my explanation, Craig. I hope that helps. Thank you. Metals, Stockmaster 2000. And Stockmaster 2000's handle is at Stock, S-T-O-C-K, M-A-S-T-E-R-J, J-A-Y. What are you thinking about the uptick in the metals market? Silver been steadily climbing along with this rally. Yep, and I like it. I commented on copper this morning, which was up about 8%, but you look at the copper stocks, only one of them was actually trailing that performance, and several of them were doing double or triple the performance. So yes, when I'm trading the metals, I love trading the actual people that are getting it out of the mines, whether that's Vale, whether that's BHP, whether it's Rio Tinto, whether it's Southern Copper. Those are the ways I like to play it, much more than I like to play the ETFs. But the question wasn't directly about ETFs, just wanted to explain that. Thank you. All right, folks, thank you for joining me today. Remember, if you want to continue to watch these live and be able to act on it during that trading day, you've got to subscribe to one of our unusual option activity products. You will still get it after the close, but as we all know, options do not trade in extended hours. So that would mean you wouldn't be able to put these strategies to work until the next day. So if you don't want to miss the live stream, you've got to subscribe. That's the bottom line. You can do that by typing marketrebellion.com/UOA live. That's marketrebellion.com/UOA live. For that, you will be getting weekly trade ideas, you'll be getting live webinars, and a trading community. So check it out. If you'd like to, you can also just call us if you don't want to go to UOA live. That's marketrebellion.com/UOA live. You can dial up 888-809-8058. That's 888-809-8058. Bang. Thank you, folks. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I look forward to being on tomorrow with you for the halftime report, as well as the 60-second workout video, and of course, 3 at 3. Bang. Have a good one.